this graphic, shall we? Women's national team training camp roster taking place in Durham, North Carolina, December 12th to the 14th. We got Bats, Boston, Brittany Grimes, Hamby, Kiki Iriafin, Paige, Caitlin Clark, Rakia Jackson, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray. And if you look at the poster where you put your best marketing tools on.
Take a good look at that poster, because the more you study it, the stranger it becomes. USA Basketball has released the official roster for the women's national team training camp happening December 12th to 14th in Durham, North Carolina. The lineup features massive names like Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, and Angel Reese, exactly the type of star power that should turn this into a hype-driven promotional win. But instead of showcasing the athletes who actually move national attention, the graphic puts Kalia Copper front and center, best known this season for the viral moment when her wig...
And then Alyssa Thomas has that fan laughing at her, escorted out by security. We have Jackie Young, no shade to Jackie Young, but folks, I can walk up to 150,000 people in the streets of New York City and ask them if you know who this woman is. No disrespect, Jackie Young. All 150,000 of those people would say, yeah, I got no idea. I don't even know who any of these people are. That person looks familiar, but I really don't know her name. What's going on, Team USA?
Christine Brennan, the legendary sports journalist who literally wrote the book on Caitlin Clark, called this out the moment the poster dropped. Brennan has spent more than 4 decades covering the Olympics and every major U.S. sports governing body, and her reaction was blunt. If USA Basketball genuinely wanted to elevate women's basketball, attract new fans, and recover from the drop in TV viewership during the Paris Olympics, the solution was obvious: include a photo of one specific player. Everyone knows exactly who that is. USA Basketball knows too, which makes their decision to exclude her from the graphic even more confusing.
That's the only person that would say, yeah, she doesn't deserve to be on this roster, just out of pure old guard, jealousy, spite, hate narrative. It's clear as day that the people that made the decisions to put out this poster is somebody that is still pushing back against the Caitlin Clark is the reason why we're all here.
Let's look back at the 2024 Paris Olympics, because the context matters. USA Basketball chose to leave Caitlin Clark off the Olympic roster entirely, and they left Angel Reese off as well. From a basketball standpoint, Clark had the talent to make the team. From a marketing and growth standpoint, both Clark and Reese were essential. The numbers made that obvious. Women's basketball viewership skyrocketed during the 2024 college season because of these two stars. But USA Basketball stuck with the old guard, the long-established veterans who had spent years in the system. And the result? Viewership for women's basketball at the Paris Olympics didn't rise. It dropped. The biggest opportunity to build on the massive college momentum was right there, and they completely fumbled it.
Team USA has went the correct route, in my opinion. They embraced the young guns. They embraced the younger generation, the generation that more casuals know. Names that are more familiar, not Alyssa Thomas. Who's Alyssa Thomas? No, we left her off. Now we have Caitlin Clark on the roster. Now we have Paige on the roster, Angel on the roster, Cam Brink on the roster, Aaliyah Boston on the roster. Names that we all know.
Here's where everything takes a surprising turn. For the 2026 FIBA World Cup, USA Basketball didn't just tweak their approach, they overhauled it. This time, they leaned fully into the youth movement. Caitlin Clark made the roster. Paige Buchers made the roster. Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Aaliyah Boston, every rising star that casual and hardcore fans actually follow is now front and center. The mistakes from 2024 were so severe that USA Basketball removed the person responsible for those decisions and brought in Cheryl Reese to lead the program moving forward. It was a clear admission. The organization finally realized that the game grows when the players who generate real excitement are elevated. They showed they learned from the Olympic failure. And then, somehow, after all that progress, they released this poster.
out promoting women's basketball, bring new fans in, and get unprecedented attention for a team that dropped in TV viewership at the Paris Olympics, they would have added the photo of one other player to this graphic. But no. And we all know who that one other player is. I've covered the Olympics and U.S. sports national governing bodies for 40 plus years and plan to be covering them for many more. And NGB's mission is to win medals, but also grow.
And this is where everything stops making sense. USA Basketball clearly showed they understood the assignment when they built the roster, mixing seasoned veterans with the young stars who actually drive modern fan interest. That part they got right. But the marketing? The promotional choices? It feels like they slipped right back into old habits. Picture an everyday sports fan scrolling through their feed. They see this poster. Unless they're already locked into women's basketball, they might vaguely recognize Kelsey Plum, or they might not. Either way, nothing on that graphic grabs their attention. Nothing invites curiosity. Nothing signals, this is a must-watch event. Now imagine replacing that generic lineup with a single, unmistakable image of Caitlin Clark. The entire reaction changes instantly. People stop scrolling. They click. They share. They ask, wait, Caitlin's playing? What time? What channel? That is the exact spark the sport needs. That's how you expand an audience. It's the simplest principle in marketing, yet somehow, USA Basketball ignored it.
Would be intrigued. People would say, oh, Caitlin Clark's back? Let me take a look. You don't even know Caitlin Clark's back playing basketball by looking at this graphic. You would need to squint your eyes real hard and see her sixth way down the list. And I get it, it's in alphabetical order. Even more of a purpose to put Caitlin Clark front and center on this graphic. But we got Ka Copper. And I understand some people might say, oh, well, they're using people that have already been on the team. Photoshop's a hell of a drug. Going back in time is a hell of...
Let's deal with the obvious counterargument. Some people will say USA Basketball only used athletes who already had official Team USA photos in uniform. On the surface, that sounds reasonable. But it falls apart immediately. Photoshop exists. Professional graphic designers exist. And Caitlin Clark has already worn USA colors with the FIBA junior teams. Those photos are available. Even if they weren't, major brands create promotional graphics without game shots all the time. Nike does it. The NBA does it. Every major sports organization does it. This wasn't a technical obstacle. It was a conscious decision. And if we're being brutally honest, photoshopping Caitlin into a Team USA look would have been far easier than whatever thought process led to putting Kahlia Copper front and center. Copper is a great player, but she doesn't draw casual eyeballs. That's just the truth.
Photoshop Caitlin Clark in one of these new nice threads, or you can go back to her days when she was playing with the FIBA team earlier in her basketball career. But to continue to drop the ball is absolutely ridiculous. You ever watch those cartoons? You have like a waiter just carrying all these pots and pans at one time, and then out of nowhere they just slip, and then all the pots and pans fall all over the floor. They gotta go back, they gotta remake the food. This is kind of like what Team USA is doing with this basketball team in advertising and marketing and promoting. They have all this cash.
This poster says a lot about the mindset of the people making these decisions at USA Basketball. Clearly, someone in the marketing department is still resisting the idea that Caitlin Clark is a major reason women's basketball has reached a new level of popularity. They're part of a group that seems uncomfortable giving individual players credit, preferring to highlight the league or the team as a whole instead. This isn't guesswork, it's visible in the poster itself. When the roster includes the single biggest name in women's basketball and you still don't put her front and center, that isn't an accident. It's ideology overriding basic marketing sense. It's a decision that says we won't give her special treatment, even though smart marketing demands exactly that. Most of the other players on the roster would have no issue with Caitlin Clark being highlighted. They understand star power and how it benefits everyone. The only possible objection would come from Kahlia Copper, and even that likely stems from old guard resentment rather than any legitimate reason.
People are fools, man. There's no other way to really describe it. These people are just fools. Should have had CC, Paige, and Angel in the graphic. I swear women's basketball doesn't know how to promote their product. Why should that change? WNBA has dropped the ball. Indiana Fever have dropped the ball. Nike has dropped the ball. Damn near the only ones that haven't been Wilson and the women's professional golf, LPGA, not WPGA. Don't worry, WNBA media coaches, these players will get a front row seat when they see the foreign teams' fans seek their autograph picture like they're at a Michael Jackson concert. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I appreciate all this.
Let's step back and look at the bigger picture, because this isn't a one-off mistake. It's part of a troubling, consistent pattern across multiple organizations failing to properly market women's basketball's biggest star. USA Basketball stumbled with the 2024 Olympic roster and now has misfired again with this poster. The WNBA has repeatedly struggled to fully leverage Clark's immense popularity. Even the Indiana Fever's marketing has been inconsistent at best. Nike delayed and mismanaged the rollout of her signature shoe. The exceptions are few. Wilson immediately partnered with her on basketballs, and the LPGA brought her in for high-profile promotional events, treating her as the star she truly is. Everyone else seems either actively undermining their own interests or so tangled in internal politics that they can't execute even basic marketing strategy. Christine Brennan's insight cuts straight to the core of the problem. USA Basketball's mission isn't just to win medals, it's also to grow the sport. They failed to do that at the 2024 Olympics, and now, in what should have been a second chance, they're repeating the same mistakes. The context may have changed, but the failure is eerily familiar. Imagine when this team travels internationally, the crowds will go wild for Caitlin Clark, while the marketing fails to capture that energy. When this team travels internationally, Caitlin Clark will be treated like a superstar, like she's at a Michael Jackson concert. Fans will swarm her for autographs, selfies, and every chance to interact. The international basketball community understands star power. They understand that individual players are the ones who drive interest in the sport. Meanwhile, the WNBA media, coaches, and the old guard who have resisted recognizing Clark's impact will have front row seats to see what they've been denying. The contrast will be impossible to ignore. Foreign audiences will celebrate her in ways the American basketball establishment never has. Ticket sales, TV ratings, and social media engagement will spike because of her, not the team as a whole. At that point, you can't hide behind the old narratives about team success or collective contribution. Star power is real, measurable, and undeniable. So, what should USA Basketball have done with this poster? The answer is simple. Feature Caitlin Clark prominently. Include Paige Buckers. Add Angel Ree. Include Guji Watkins to highlight the next wave of talent. Those four faces alone would grab attention from casual fans, die-hard fans, and everyone in between. Veterans like Kelsey Plum or Chelsea Gray could still appear, but in supporting roles. This way, the poster communicates both star power and depth, making it impossible for anyone scrolling past to ignore. Acknowledging that some players have more marketing pull than others isn't disrespectful, it's just how professional sports operate. That's how you grow a fan base. The NBA doesn't hide LeBron James in alphabetical lists. The NFL doesn't bury Patrick Mahomes in promotional graphics. You lead with the stars who drive attention. Yet here, we see Kalia Copper and Jackie Young highlighted while Caitlin Clark is buried in the text. It's the opposite of what makes sense. It's counterproductive and continues a pattern that has repeated all year. What makes this especially frustrating for fans of women's basketball is that the sport is on the cusp of a major breakthrough. The audience is ready. Interest is real. The 2024 college season proved that millions will watch when given compelling stars and narratives. But growth isn't just about talent, it's about strategy. It requires smart marketing, understanding your audience, and putting organizational ego or politics aside to do what actually works. Time and again, decision-makers have failed to do this. Ironically, many of the veteran players would likely support highlighting the young stars. They understand how the business functions and know that elevating rising talent benefits everyone. Star power doesn't diminish the team, it strengthens the sport as a whole. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's a generational talent whose presence can redefine women's basketball. Her star power drives attention, boosts TV ratings, increases merchandise sales, and elevates sponsorship opportunities. Everyone benefits when she thrives, from the league to fellow players. Yet, the resistance to fully acknowledging her impact doesn't come from athletes. It comes from administrators, marketing departments, and media outlets invested in a narrative that wants to downplay individual influence in favor of collective recognition. The December Team USA training camp highlights this disconnect. On paper, the event is exciting. It's the first gathering of the revamped roster, featuring Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, Angel Rhee, and other familiar names alongside veteran leadership. Fans should be thrilled. The coaching staff has to integrate young talent, test rotations, and determine roles for the 2026 World Cup. Questions abound. How much playing time will Clark get? How will veterans respond? Will Cheryl Reeve balance experience and youth effectively? These storylines are compelling, exactly the kind of narratives that should captivate casual and hardcore fans alike. Yet, USA Basketball's promotion falls flat. The poster released for the camp fails to generate excitement. Casual fans scrolling social media won't even know the event exists, when it takes place, or how to follow it. This is a major missed opportunity. December is a slow period for women's basketball. The WNBA season is over, and college basketball is just beginning. The organization could have used this moment to create buzz, draw in casual viewers, and grow the audience. Instead, the graphic seems designed to make people scroll past, burying its biggest draw, Caitlin Clark, in the text. This isn't just a minor oversight, it's part of a larger pattern. USA Basketball fumbled the 2024 Olympic roster by leaving Clark off the team, costing women's basketball a chance to capture an already growing audience. The WNBA has struggled with marketing her games effectively. Even Nike took months to release her signature shoe, mishandling the rollout. Only organizations like Wilson and the LPGA have fully recognized her marketing value, leveraging her brand for merchandise and events. Everywhere else, internal politics, resistance to star-driven marketing, or sheer inaction has limited growth. The contrast between domestic missteps and international reception will be striking. When this Team USA roster competes abroad, Clark will be treated like a superstar. Fans will swarm for autographs, photos, and engagement. International audiences understand star power. They recognize how a single player can drive interest. Meanwhile, domestic media, veteran coaches, and old guard figures who minimized Clark's impact will witness firsthand how her presence excites crowds. Ticket sales, viewership, and fan energy will revolve around her, making it undeniable. Individual star power drives engagement. So, what should USA Basketball have done with this poster? It's simple. Feature Caitlin Clark prominently. Include Paige Bueckers, Angel Rhee, and emerging talent like Guji Watkins. Veterans such as Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray can appear in supporting roles. This design strategy would grab attention from casual fans, loyal supporters, and everyone in between. Instead, they chose a graphic that fails to convey the excitement and influence these players generate. Acknowledging that some players have more marketing pull isn't disrespectful, it's reality. Every professional sport operates this way. The NBA doesn't hide LeBron James. The NFL doesn't bury Patrick Mahomes. The talent is undeniable. Clark is a legitimate superstar. Paige Bueckers and Angel Rhee bring fresh energy, skill, and charisma. Emerging players like Guji Watkins are the next wave. The core product is strong. The challenge is the execution, aligning marketing and promotion with the actual influence these players have. If organizations get it right, women's basketball can build on the momentum from the 2024 college season. Iowa games featuring Clark broke viewership records, proving that casual fans will tune in for generational talent. Player salaries rise and public respect grows. Conversely, ignoring star power or letting organizational politics interfere risks stalling growth, wasting opportunities, and confusing potential new fans. The December camp could have been a pivotal promotional moment. Instead, it became an example of the disconnect between talent and marketing strategy. Ultimately, the solution isn't complicated. Feature your stars. Tell compelling stories. Make it easy for fans to engage. The players are ready. The product is compelling. What remains uncertain is whether organizations can remove obstacles and execute the obvious marketing strategies that drive sustained growth. The trajectory of women's basketball for the next decade hinges on these decisions, and the stakes couldn't be higher.